the Schmitter's 100 Acre Woods. We have this piece of poplar down here, just down from the other logs. And this one's only 7 foot long, and everything that he needs is greater than that. And this is just a piece that that we got out of one of the trees. Past that, it was kind of split, so that's why it's kind of a shorter size. But basically, what we want to use this for is get it into a cant, and then we've done in the past we did some lap siding that we put on the grill pavilion, and I'm going to build a small building over at my sister's house to be able to store firewood bags. So we're going to put lap siding on the outside of that building. Anyway, that lap siding only needs to be about 6 foot long, so these 7 foot pieces will be nice, because we'll be able to cut a little bit off the ends and have enough. We're gonna go ahead and make it match her siding, which is an 8-inch like lap siding now, that's in aluminum. So we'll cut these so they're about 9 with an inch of lap and everything. So really want to get those cut relatively soon so they can start to dry. We have all the construction material that we need. We have some 2x4s, 2x6s, and all that to build that out. We just need the siding, so probably get that on the mill maybe next. Work on getting it up there and do that. So before, when we did it, we just got a cant, and then we had 2 settings set on the simple set and a 1/2-inch board that we put on the end to give us that 1/2-inch raise. And then depending on which simple set setting you use to drop the amount, whether you have the piece in there or not, creates that offset, angled cut. So you have kind of a thin piece, and then it gets bigger at the other side. So I think the big side we want to be about 1/2 inch, and then the other side, or about 1 inch and 1/2 inch. So we had it figured out. We'll have to kind of go back there and figure out exactly how that works, and I'll try to do another video on it. Because the first time, kind of got it figured out, seemed to work well, so I can do a little bit more video coming up on how exactly that worked. So at that 7 foot piece of poplar on the mill, start getting it sawed up. This is a pretty decent piece, not a lot of deformity to it, so able to get a pretty decent can out of this, and not a whole lot of extra waste. Like we do with most of our pieces, we start just by getting kind of a first cut and kind of see what it looks like, and then depending on what width we're after, we either take another inch or 2 off to get down. In this, we do inch pieces that we'll use as trim pieces, and then we square those up, take the bark off and everything kind of at the end. So here, just simple set down 1 inch. And like I mentioned, we want to try to get down just a little bit more, get to a little bit bigger piece of the wood. So we peel off this inch piece, use this trim, and that will kind of get everything down so that it's about, I think, 10 inches wide. And then once we have kind of a decent size, we'll then rotate that log around. So all the pieces that we still need to kind of address again, typically just set them over on the the pallet that's back here. Just set it kind of closest to this side so that we can get it back off easily, and then everything that's already been milled, we'll put kind of toward the back of that pallet. Okay, so we're getting it set up so that we can do the thick and thin. So we're getting a piece of 1/2 inch this way that's cut about 3/4 of an inch this way, so you just stick it under this side of the board and just make it flush with the board. That way you can still put a clamp on, and then we'll just make some cuts so that this side's higher, and then we'll have 2 settings on the simple set, and I'll talk through those as we get those figured out. I don't remember exactly, but you have the 2, and then you put 2 different ones depending on what you got going. What we did was we want like a 9, so we cut this direction so it's like 9 3/4, and then this way we got about 13, so that way we maximize the number of boards we can get going down.
Inside, now this would be our 1 inch side,
Right?
and this isn't going to change, right?
Right, so
So
it
you
comes
stick
down,
that down, you
an
want
inch.
to come down an inch, whatever the 1 and 1/8.
Right, I think that's the 16, so yeah.
So you can change those to 1 and 16 and high 16 if you want. I was going for a slightly thicker piece of siding.
So, so does it matter? So would you do 9/16 and 1/8, or I mean 5/8 and 1 1/8?
Yep, that's what I said. Where's that silver? That time, you do the other.
Right. So I kind of speed up the rest of the process here, and once we kind of have a process together, it starts going a little bit quicker as far as which set needs to happen, and then getting the half-inch piece moved in and out, or the 1-inch piece moved in and out. So this starts to go a little bit quicker, but actually got some really nice looking boards out of this. Just a really clean tree, and didn't have many knots or anything in it, so able to get some really nice boards. So how many did we end up with?
14.
Well, I mean, we're just doing the short side, so that's 4 foot. So,
Well, and that'll get you 9 times 7, 63 inches of height
right,
on each side.
right.
So we may have to piece a little bit, but I think that you probably got enough.
Now we can do something with our, so I have the one bottom one there, and then we have these that we could true up. Like the bigger ones that aren't too bad, we could just leave them and rip them to something we may need.
Yeah, I just leave.
So like I mentioned there before, had about 14 of these. Unfortunately, we need about 18 to do kind of the project we're after, but this will be a good start. So like all of our stuff, go ahead and get it bound together. Just so that as it dries, it doesn't want to twist, but then also makes it a whole lot easier to move around. This poplar isn't super heavy, so we're able to move it by hand for the most part if we need to move it short distances. And this we go ahead and put in the carport, just because it's a nice dry spot where it can dry slowly and be out of the weather. Pulling up these boards. So from that tree, we got 14 of the lap siding boards, and then looks like 10 just 1-bys of various sizes. So we can figure we can use it as some trim pieces when we build this building. So got it in under cover here so that it can start to dry but not be out in the sun, so it doesn't dry too quick and crack. So have this, and then we went ahead, we have fence boards that we made out of pine. We went ahead and put them in the back. They are super dry. They're pretty thin. They're only about half an inch thick. So they're nice and dry now, and we'll be taking those over hopefully this weekend to start working on that. And then this stuff here we'll use later on after it's dried a little bit, just so that whenever we can seal these, they don't retain any moisture and everything. So we'll be working on that here pretty soon. Thank you for watching the Schmitter 100 Acre Woods. Hit that thumbs up button, subscribe, and we'll catch you next time.